Well, welcome back one and all to another exciting edition of Transformers Reviews. Well, today guys, we are taking a look at the animated universe version of Motormaster, sometimes referred to as the Motormaster, or as his box likes to describe him, Decepticon Motormaster. However, everybody, for the sake of brevity, we're going to be dropping both of the prefixes, being Decepticon and the, and just calling him straight up Motormaster. So, with that being said, what do I like about this boy? Well, I think it is probably no surprise that since Motormaster and Skywarp rock the same basic colors, being purple, black, with highlights of silver, definitely digging this mold in those colors. So if you guys have seen this channel to any extent, you know that I like whenever they give us the ability to have weapon storage if it's very clean. Now, this is not very clean, but it is very practical. However, I really don't like how this looks on the vehicle mode. So most of the time, if I choose to display him in said vehicle mode, I'm just gonna have that axe basically laying off to the side. However, if you did want to go full gladiator mode and have it sticking even farther out the side to where he could potentially cut Autobots in half, that is an option available to you. And one thing that I do want to go ahead and mention about this is I totally dig the blast effect capable rocket on the back of the axe. That you'll see it in some other pictures later, but I maybe have a little too much fun with that in certain things like this. However, whatever the case is in that regard, this is basically at the end of the day a fire truck. However, maybe you don't like your Motormasters to be a fire truck. Well, that's actually a super easy fix. You just come up here to the light bar and you just pull it off like that, revealing 3 combat ports on the top. And there your Motormaster is looking a little bit more traditional, more like a semi, less like a fire truck. Counting Motormaster, I have about in total 4 animated figures. One of those being a boy that we've seen on this channel not too long ago, being Shockwave. And I mean, again, these dudes rocking very similar colors. Also, obviously, Shockwave is a little bit of a lighter purple, whereas this is a little bit darker. But again, it's the same main 3 colors. And the third one is kind of a weird exception in the fact that it is the Autotrooper, which, as we know, is basically just a reuse of the Siege Ironhide mold. And then the last one is actually a guy that came with the Shockwave, which is the Activator Bumblebee. So basically what you're seeing on screen right now, this is the entirety of my animated collection right here. Back in the day, I used to have Megatron, and for some stupid reason, I got rid of him, and I kind of regret it. But hedging my bets, since they do have the animated Optimus, probably Motormaster and the soon-to-be released Nemesis version of this mold will probably have to tide us over until they eventually one day decide to do animated Megatron, which that might be pretty interesting to see. So everybody, that's basically it for vehicle mode. So why don't we go ahead and see how this boy looks when we finally transform him. So this is probably not what you were expecting when I said we would look at this boy's robot mode. Now, disclaimer, I think everything that is attached to this boy in this picture is quite a bit of overkill, but it's really just to show you the insane number of 5mm ports this guy has. So if we do a little quick rundown on this, if you look at his feet, he does have 1 per foot. Nothing new there. That's pretty standard for a lot, if not all, of the Legacy figures. However, as you can see on what are his normal robot mode legs, he does have a set of wheels both on the inside and the outside of the leg. Now in the very center of those wheels, they are 5mm compatible, which means you can plug whatever you want to into them. Now if you move up to the area just below the knees, you can see that on the outsides he does have ports there as well. That's where we've got lockdowns pipes plugged into. However, when we move up to the arms, this is pretty standard fare for what we're used to with Legacy figures. On each one of his forearms, he does have 1 port, same for the biceps. Now on the back, it's actually a different story because if you leave the light bar off, you actually have 3 combat ports. However, if you leave the light bar on, that only leaves you 1. So with that being said, as you can see in this picture, even though I do believe it is a little bit of overkill having all of that stuff plugged onto him, I did just kind of want to see what it would look like if he started utilizing them in combat. Just how it takes that legacy aesthetic and straightens out some of the lines. I think that's what enables him to blend with the pieces of Lockdown a little bit smoother. But at the same time, it doesn't just make it so disconnected from animated either. However, when we look at this picture, our boy is back to his normal non-weaponizer self, and I have to say that really, when you look at this, it's pretty obvious that not only is it just the Optimus body style, but the only thing that even links it to being Motormaster is the cartoony version of the G1 head that they've put on this. Now, he is different from his G1 predecessor in the fact that this guy is rocking not only a Fu Manchu, but a little bit of a chin beard as well. Hey, you know what? I think our boy here is rocking it, especially with the axe slung over his shoulder, looking all lumberjack-like. And his axe is not just a one-trick pony, much like the Prime mold this is taken from. The axe handle can extend, and yeah, I don't care whether it's short-handled or long-handled. Our boy looks pretty menacing wielding it. And so here we can see our boy utilizing probably my favorite blast effect feature is the rocket on the back of the axe. Especially when you do add the rocket blast effect on his feet, so not only is the axe pushing him along, but it looks like he's boosting himself through the air to attack none other than our boy Autotrooper. As we can see, it's getting ready to be axe versus hammer, with Motormaster just overpowering our poor Autotrooper here. And Motormaster is not a one-trick pony. We can see here that he tries to utilize his blaster effect on Autotrooper. However, Autotrooper is able to just barely dodge the blast effect from our boy. And once he gets back on his feet, he goes for Motormaster's knee. And despite the fact that Motormaster is brought to bended knee, he does take the opportunity to counterattack using the blunt end of his axe to knock Autotrooper right in the face. And as we can see in this pretty sick pose, Motormaster is getting ready to deal the finishing blow that ultimately does not end well for our Autotrooper boy, which proves there is no fooling around with this Decepticon. Now, again, like we mentioned, this guy was originally a BotCon character, and the comic that he originally appeared in, him and his Stunticon posse had concocted a plan to actually free Megatron from Trypticon prison. And while that didn't ultimately work out for him, I thought, well, what if he actually was a little bit more successful? So as you can see in this picture right here, our boy has raided the weapons lockup, and he is providing Shockwave with his iconic cannon, which Shockwave is not only impressed, but expresses his logical gratitude to our boy. And I like how in this shot, both Motormaster and Shockwave look like they're just getting ready to rampage their way out of the cell block. And yeah, I'm totally digging it for sure. So here you can see Motormaster with the animated figures that I have. Now you're probably obviously noticing Trashmaster in the back there. And I do see where a lot of people are coming from on the fact that they feel that Trashmaster would make a really good animated Wreck-Gar. They haven't really done anything else with Trashmaster's mold. However, other than that, I'm really happy that you guys wanted me to do a video over Motormaster. He has proven to be such a fun mold. Matter of fact, even if you don't collect animated figures, but you want just a fun Transformer baddie, then Motormaster is excellent. So I can at least give my recommendation for him. Well, just one more thing before I let you all go, guys, is I wanted to let you know what the next two videos are going to be on the channel. Now, if you've been around for a while, you know that at the end of the year, we like to do both of our top 10 lists. Now, the first one that's going to come out is going to be the top 10 interesting pickups of 2024. I'm going to actually try to have that uploaded on or around the 25th. And then what we'll do is probably New Year's Eve or New Year's Day, we're going to do the top 10 Legacy United figures. And with that being said, everybody, that's basically all I've got for you this time. So until next time, guys, we'll see you in another review.